Hey, my name is Rowena from typeandactive.com, and today I want to talk about a very popular subject in the world of diabetes, and that of course is diet. There's so many different variations of diets that you can do, in the world of diet and in general, never mind adding diabetes. And there's so many different fitness things to go about, but as I say always about those things is that what works for one is not necessarily going to work for you, so again you have to find out what you enjoy. But saying that, there are two very popular diets amongst diabetes, and that's either low glycemic diet, which is basically swapping higher glycemic carbs such as white rice, white potatoes, and normal cereal, swapping them because they're in a high glycemic index, swapping them for lower glycemic carbs such as sweet potato, oats, and brown rice. The idea is that they are released a lot slower within the body, so it helps your blood sugar. That's kind of the approach to my diet that I follow, because I don't want to go low carb, and I don't want to be without carbs in my diet. It's not sustainable for me. So that brings me to the next diet, which is a low carb diet. So some people follow low carb diets, and basically that means just like chopping down on the amount of carbs you eat. So you're gonna want to bring your other macronutrient sources up, like your fat and your protein, in order to compensate for the lost calories that you're gonna get rid of by not eating carbs. But some people tend not to do that because they don't understand what a low carb diet is, and they end up just severely under eating, and that's why they lose weight. So yeah, that's what happens. So there's the low glycemic diet, there's the low carb diet. So I'm going to kind of talk about both. The reason why I think the low glycemic diet is good for diabetes management is because you've still got carbs in your life. You can still go out and eat, and you don't have to be so restricted, which is kind of what messes people up when they go on a diet in the first place. If they go all in at once and they think, oh my god, I can't eat potato anymore, I can't eat this, I can't eat that, then they get this idea of this thought of lack in the brain, and they just feel deprived, and it makes them miserable. So that's why I follow the low GI diet as opposed to the low carb diet. However, if you feel that a low carb diet is going to be sustainable for you a year from now, then I advise you to go for it, because obviously you're bound to have better glucose control if you are eating less carbs. There's less chance of hypoglycemia, it just takes that away. And obviously that's brilliant. And there are people out there, don't think I'm like bashing a low carb diet, because there's people who I follow on Instagram and like Twitter and stuff who are diabetic and follow low carb diet, and you know what, they do really well day in day out, and they say how much they love it and how great the blood glucose control is, and that's good for them. But I have tried it in the past, and whilst I was maintaining almost perfect blood glucose control, I was very miserable, like up here. So do you know what, I just think, why move one problem? Like, okay, not that I've ever had bad diabetes control, because I haven't, but why move one problem to somewhere else? So if you are currently considering a low carb diet just because of bad diabetes control, then you need to think, well, if you get good diabetes control but you're eating no carbs, are you going to be happy? Because if you end up being miserable on a low carb diet with good diabetes control, then you've just moved the problem from one area to another, and then that's going to need to be addressed. You being depressed and feeling deprived is going to need to be addressed, and it's not good. So you need to consider what you enjoy, what you like, and what you can see yourself doing a year from now. If you are currently in like low glycemic carbs, and you're still struggling with your blood sugar, you need to consider, are you taking the right amount of insulin for the carbs you take? Check out my video on carb counting tips for diabetes, and make sure you're doing those things, and see if they help. If they don't help, then try another thing, but always try a few things before you make a big decision on like, oh, I'm not going to eat carbs anymore, or you know, I'm never going to eat that again, because it doesn't necessarily need to be that way. You know, a diet is not always about weight loss. It's about sustaining like a healthy lifestyle. You know, a diet, like you can have a good diet. You know, people say there's a bad diet, but it's not all about weight loss. And usually if someone says, oh, I'm on a diet, it means that they're going to lose weight. But you know, if someone wanted to gain weight and they said, oh, I'm on a diet, you know, and then someone seeing them eating like shit, they'd be like, I thought you were on a diet, because people necessarily always associate it with weight loss, and it's not about that. A diet is just something that you do with your food that you can maintain. And you know what, I'd like to have a healthy relationship with food, and I'd really like you to have that same healthy relationship as well. You know, don't cut things out just for the sake of diabetes, because if you get perfect diabetes management and you end up miserable somewhere else, it's really not worth it. You know, you're going to cause other problems, because you know, it's so important to find that balance is what I'm saying. But I think I've gone on a little bit too much. So yeah, visit my website typeandactive.com and subscribe to my channel for more videos like this. I'll link the blog below so you get to read the full article, and I'll speak to you soon.